5 years ago, our minds were blown, and things have gotten so good since then. And it seems like the best is yet to come. This ride with Nintendo has been amazing. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I can't actually see you, but I like that I get to see you every single day to talk about the latest and greatest from Nintendo. Thanks for joining me. Today we got a lot to discuss, including a big Switch Datamine revealing some super cool stuff coming up soon. Plus, reviews are out for some big March Switch games. How did they fare? Did it all pan out? Plus, Nintendo has dropped a whole bunch of Kirby news, and yeah, Kirby. It's also the 5th anniversary of the Nintendo Switch. Man, oh man, it's been so freaking cool. And this thing is also so old. We've had hybrid gameplay now. We're going on the 6th year. So definitely let me know in the comments down below any special birthday messages you've got for the Switch. You want to share any of your experiences, how much it's meant to you, how far it's come in honestly such a long time. It's been over half a decade now. Hit that like button if you're glad Nintendo went Switch and didn't go Wii U too. And if you want to give your Switch a birthday present, I recommend the Lexar Play card from my fine friends over there at Lexar. They make the best memory card. It gets a SwitchForce seal of approval for being fast, secure, safe, and so big. These guys go up to 1 terabyte, so make sure to click the link in the description down below to check them out. I know your Switch will be happy, and I mean, man, it's worked hard for 5 years, allowing you to play fantastic Nintendo hits on the go and at home, so maybe it's time for a little memory card reward. Plus, every time you click the link, it helps support the channel, so it's a win-win-win. I don't want to talk too much about Kirby, but I have to make mention that Nintendo did drop a super sweet demo. All right, I made a full video giving my full thoughts on the game, including Editor Gabe, and if we're impressed, disappointed, still excited for launch, how we feel about this, but they did drop a cool demo you can download now, as well as an overview trailer and another new short trailer, although I will warn you, the trailers seem pretty spoilerific, so if you're already pumped for the game, maybe just skip it. It's out in 3 weeks, so maybe just wait. Kirby. Check out my video if you want to hear if I'm excited for it. Triangle Strategy is the first big Switch exclusive of March, and review scores are now here. The game has achieved an 83 on Metacritic, which is pretty darn solid. It sounds like the gameplay mechanics, the battle system in particular, is really strong. And if you like tactical action, this is going to be absolutely up your alley. The negatives seem to be that the story is convoluted, long, and that there's a lot of exposition. Now, the lowest end reviews really take this game to task and say it sometimes feels like a boring visual novel with gameplay sprinkled in. And that doesn't sound that great. Yet on the high end, the reviews really do champion the battle system and say if you ever loved Final Fantasy Tactics, this is it. The graphics are really nifty. It does play homage with nostalgia to games of this style from the past, but it also brings in modern sensibilities. So I think this really is going to be a fans of the genre type game. If you're into strategy RPGs, Triangle Strategy will be for you. If you're not, it probably won't be. The good news is they do have a demo, the prologue, that carries over into the game, so you got every chance to find out if it is right for you, but 83, still a strong score, and again, contributes another really good game to a really diverse and really big Nintendo Switch 2022 lineup. Chocobo GP reviews also dropped, and you might remember this to be the Square Enix Final Fantasy Mario Kart competitor. It does have a free light version. So again, the concept and the theme of this month is you can try everything out before you spend. And you might want to do that with Chocobo because it has very diverse review scores. It ended up with a 65 on Metacritic, not that strong. But the variance is huge because we've got people saying that this is really bad, doesn't play that great, and the courses are meh, all sorts of microtransactions and feels kind of like a mobile game, all the way up to VGC gave it an 8 and said, this is the next best kart racer on Switch after Mario Kart, which is high praise. Now, it seems like the biggest bummer is that you do have to really grind your way to unlock a lot of the different elements of this game, which doesn't feel all that fun once you've paid $50 and you just want to play, especially considering there's only 8 different tracks. Now, they say 21 because there's different variations on the tracks, like short versions and long versions, but in totality, there's really 8 distinct environments / tracks, and they modify those to somehow get to 21 courses. That part to me sounds quite blah, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is about to come in with DLC and expand that track list to 96. So 8 and 96, those numbers aren't very close. Yet I do see reviews saying like, hey, the actual kart racing feels fantastic. So if you can get past some of the fluff on the sides and the fact that you do have to unlock a lot through story mode, and there are in-game stores and microtransactions, and they're doing season passes and things of that sort, then you've got a pretty cool racer. So I definitely want to try it out. And the good news is we all can. There's going to be a light version at launch, so you don't have to fork over $50. You can just give it a go and see if it's for you. And then if you like it, you can drop 50. Drop and give me 50. That was a song when I was in high school. Hurricane Chris. Now that is one blast from the past. And I'm really glad that Chocobo GP has this light-free version, because given the fact that it releases on March 10th and then Mario Kart 8 DLC is on March 18th, I think this would get fastly passed over. It would just be stuck in the slow lane, if not for a chance to try it out and see if it is right for you. I'm still fingers crossed because I love kart racers, but I do know that Mario Kart 8, like that's gonna take the cake most of the time and probably most of the attention. So let me know in the comments down below if you plan to pick up either of these new releases, if the review scores have changed your mind or reinforce your purchasing decisions. Let's talk about that data mine I told you about at the top of the video. All right, data miners, man, I gotta give them a round of applause. I love these guys and gals, everybody who is into this scene to help us sort of see a window into what's being worked on or what's beneath the scenes or what's actually going on. Now, Nintendo Switch Sports has revealed something really cool. We talked about it a while back about Nintendo using AMD's FSR to achieve better graphics on Switch, on the OG Switch. None of that Switch Pro stuff on the current Switch you're holding right now. Well, Nintendo Switch Sports has been data mined deeply, and it looks like they are really planning to make this a much bigger experience than its predecessor. Nintendo Switch Sports drops on April 29th, and we know they're doing Chambara, and we know they're doing bowling, and we know they're doing tennis. We also know that they're bringing golf this fall, but now we know that it looks like they're gonna be dropping dodgeball and basketball later on as well. New data mines have found files referencing both sports, and it seems like this is going to become a catch-all with regular releases and updates. It's Nintendo doing games as a service. So Switch Sports is not a full price title. It starts off with not full content, but then it drops golf in the fall, maybe basketball in the spring, and dodgeball next summer. It seems like this is going to be a living title that adds a bunch of content, and I wonder how that feels for you. Like, do you like this idea that Nintendo is going to be bringing in a bunch of new sports as we play and as we go? Or would you rather see them just drop all the content at the start? I mean, they probably look to their competitors and the rest of the industry and see everybody else doing seasonal updates, content drops, DLC, and they're like, dope, let's try to do that too. The thing I will say though, is thus far, Nintendo has been really good about granting a lot of content for free. Now they've been adding some of this content to the expansion pack, and I wonder if one or both of these sports could be something else we see included in that upgraded online service. You got Mario Kart 8 DLC, Animal Crossing DLC. If Switch Sports is a success, and it seems like Nintendo is targeting these games that have very wide demographics and wide audiences, could we get basketball and dodgeball only via the expansion pack? I do think it's plausible. I think Nintendo Switch Sports would be a title that could take advantage of that, as opposed to something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where they might want to just reap the rewards and earn all the money they can from actually charging full price for that DLC. But I do like how Nintendo has handled DLC in general this generation. I think they've done a good job. They brought a lot of content, and I'm down for basketball. Mario Hoops never really lived up to expectations. It was only tested out on a handheld, never made it to home console. I'm super pumped for Strikers, but let's try basketball. Let's try dodgeball. I think Nintendo Switch Sports is going to be another sneaky great game from 2022, adding again, just another one. Another exclusive. DJ Khaled would wear out his vocal cords. He would lose his voice from saying it for this year and what Nintendo has first party wise. I mean, this is an April game. It's out next month. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And now knowing that there's the potential for even more sports, and who knows, even more than that, going to be pretty darn sweet. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd rather play basketball or dodgeball in your Nintendo Switch Sports. Now let's talk for a minute about the Switch turning 5. How far you've come. We've known you since you were a baby with tiny little piggy toes, and now you're so grown, or at least 5. It's freaking crazy how long this thing has been out there. I remember like just yesterday, I was freaking out because we thought the NX was gonna get revealed, and then it was the Switch, and it could do the hybrid thing, and it had the Pro Controller, and they showed off Mario Odyssey for the first time, and they dropped like Splatoon, Breath of the Wild, NBA. It was one jam-packed, super sweet trailer, and we heard the for the first time, and now it's forever imprinted in all of our brains. But seriously, the Switch has had a super successful, amazing string of years since its launch, and it does seem like the best is still ahead of us. 2022 could very well be the biggest, best year for Switch, and if things continue to build momentum-wise, we could be in the heyday right now. In fact, I can almost assure you we are in the glory years of Nintendo Switch, and that's why if it ends up lasting until 2024, 5, 6, it's okay. This system was such a smart decision, it's done so much right, and it's really reversed the entire fortune and course of how we view Nintendo and how the industry looks at Nintendo in comparison to everyone else. Wii U Nintendo was like down here, below the camera, and now Nintendo, man, I love it for them and I love it for us. It's been so fun. Thank you to all of you who've been here from the very beginning. Let me know if you're one of the OGs. All right, we started this channel in 2016, a couple months before Nintendo Switch came out, and boom. We're still here, we're growing, we're thriving, and we are striving to be better and better, just like the Switch. We've hit our glory years as well with the new set, the great looks, and the amazing community that we've built here together. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you, Switch, for allowing me to even have a SwitchForce channel, and I cannot wait to see where you go from here. It's gonna be awesome, and you know I got you completely covered. In honor of the Switch and its beautiful birthday, today's poll is all about which Switch you have got, or which Switch you've switched to, and the answer is fascinating. All right, I expected that the original Switch would win, and it did with 71%, a very healthy margin. But I'm impressed that 20% have an OLED as their main Switch, compared to only 9% rocking the Switch Lite. Now, Nintendo's sales figures would have you believe the opposite. It'd be flipped because the Switch Lite is more popular in terms of sales than the OLED, but it's cool to see that a lot of you have had the chance to pick up the beautiful system with that super swanky screen. Games like Kirby just shine. The bright colors, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that course booster pack is gonna look real pretty, and I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks. I'm rocking the OLED as well. That's why I picked that bottom option, and if you do have a chance to upgrade, I still think it's a cool upgrade. Not necessary though. And now with all this talk of, oh, Nvidia, Nintendo, what are they working on? What's coming? There could be new hardware sooner than maybe we think. I would maybe stand put just for a little bit. The Switch is good, the Switch is fine, and the Switch is our favorite system. So thanks so much for being a part of all this with me. For 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, even just 2 days. I love having you here. I'm so grateful for all of you and your support. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Definitely check the community polls every weekday evening to get your voice and your opinion a part of the conversation, and talk at me in the comments. And until next time, my friends, thanks again. SwitchForce out.